Hello, I'm Dr. Leon Stutzman, aka Doc, with another one of these little videos designed to help you to get through these strange days in which we find ourselves, and these yet remain strange days indeed. They really do. I'm talking this week about God is. Hebrews, the 11th chapter, the 6th verse. But without faith, it's impossible to please him. For he that cometh God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Let me say this first. God is far beyond anything that you can conceive of. God is infinite, and the finite mind cannot conceive of the infinite. Even in this phrase, he is, if you look in the Greek, the word actually means he, she, it, and are. Why? Because there's no definitive way to define God. God simply is. And when you come into the realization that God is, and you tap into that, what I would call the isness of God, that is the unchanging nature of God, the omniscience of God, the omnipotence of God, the omnipresence of God, that God simply is. Many years ago, I was interviewed for a newspaper article. We sat across the table at a local coffee shop, and I was talking about God. Later, the reporter wrote a full-page article saying, I talked with Stutzman over a cup of coffee, and he acted like God was right there. Well, I thought to myself when I read the article, where isn't God? God simply is. And if you're going to be rewarded by God, you have to seek after God, and you have to recognize that God simply is. Moses asked God, he said, I beseech you, therefore, show me your glory. In the book of Exodus, 33rd chapter, the 18th verse. And God said to Moses, I won't show you my glory. No man can see my face and live. Why? Because the infinite cannot be comprehended by the finite. God is infinite, we are finite, and you cannot comprehend the totality of God. And that's why God reveals himself in scriptures by bits and pieces. Isaiah 28 verse 10 tells us line shall be upon line, precept upon precept, line upon line, precept upon precept. Bit by bit, God reveals himself to us. And that's why you have to be a seeker after God. Because the knowledge you had of God yesterday is not sufficient for the day in which you find yourself, and the knowledge you have of God today is not sufficient for tomorrow. That's why you have to constantly be a seeker after God. I'll build on this over the next week, Wednesday and Friday. Next Sunday at Aspire Church, we walk by faith and not by sight. What does that mean? Catch it live on the live stream at aspirechurch.tv, Facebook Aspire Church TV. That's Facebook Aspire Church TV, live stream aspirechurch.tv. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be powerful, and it'll help you to walk by faith. I'll see you then.